What would you do if your child told you that they'd lived before? Now, there's a growing number of children, apparently, who believe they have had a past life, and they're able to give very accurate information, it seems, as to who they used to be, where they lived, etc. And we were talking about this morning, because some of the stories that you read are quite incredible, actually, the things that they've told their parents. And I was saying about my niece, when she was about 4 or 5, looking out of the bedroom window one Saturday morning, they're reading a book in bed, my sister and her, and they had a big apple tree in their garden. And she said to my sister, "Oh, look at the little boy in the tree." And Julia went, "What little boy?" And she was going, "There, Mummy," as if she was completely stupid. "That boy." And she was saying, "I can't see a boy." "Look, there, sitting there. What does he look like?" And she described this boy. She said he's got a flat cap and he's got kind of short trousers and pointy shoes.
Was he holding a chimney sweep, Precious?
Such a cynic, Jane.
Had she just watched Mary Poppins?
I'm feeling, Jane, that you're not a believer. No, I was going to say, she didn't actually. They eventually had to cut the tree down in the garden. She was distraught. And then that did go away. So that didn't turn into anything kind of like I lived in a previous life. But it was quite interesting that she described him in great detail that my sister couldn't really explain. You know, you're going to say, "Oh, she's probably learning about Victorians at school or something," are you? There you are.
I just think it's like an imaginary friend. You know, children have imaginary friends.
Well, I think imaginary friends could be ghosts.
Well, my daughter had an imaginary friend, bizarrely called Steve McQueen, for about 2 years. She used to talk about Steve McQueen all the time. Doesn't anymore now. She's 12, obviously.
Because she's been told
so
it's
how
silly.
did you deal with that then? Did you just
Well, we just kind of went along with it. It's imagination, it's storytelling, and I think it's the same with adults. You know, when people sort of say, "Oh, I regressed and I used to be a sailor on the good ship," whatever, you think, no, you didn't, actually. I think when I was sent to do regression techniques as a journalistic exercise, and I was useless because I was such a control freak. I just went, no, I'm not feeling anything. But I think most people, you sort of go into that profound sense of relaxation, and I think they do use it as a therapy because people sort of tell a story which might home in on a trauma in their life or give some sort of indication of something in their life that's troubling them, and they use another person as a sort of a story to bring that out.
I get that in adults. I get why you'd be cynical with adults doing that. But, for instance, I was looking at a YouTube clip online on Facebook, and it was a little, I think he was 4 years old, a little boy, and he'd been going on about something that had happened to him, and his mum and dad were like, "Show us where you mean," and all that, and he took them to this place and said, "I was murdered here."
Oh.
And they investigated, and when they dug down, there was bodies. Then he showed them where the murder weapon was, and the guy who'd done it eventually came forward and admitted to a murder.
Really?
But the little boy had said it was him. So, I mean, how can
have you ever had a friend who's woken up in the street with a kidney missing as well?
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is, how can you...
I had a friend and he woke up and he'd had his kidney taken out.
He's not a friend of mine. He's on... I mean, there's so many... I just think when it's kids, I know kids have a vivid imagination, but some of them are so... You know, a 3-year-old
Maybe we just dismiss it as just imagination. Maybe because we do that, they stop listening to that other sense.
But this is children, so you could say, oh, well, you know, that they have, like you said, imaginary friends or they live fantasy world. But what about adults? Because you did something with regression, didn't you, for a TV show?
Years, 2005, I think it was, or something like that. Have we been here before, or have you been here before, or something with Philip Schofield, actually, as a host. And I went in, I'm like you, I don't know what to believe, but, you know, they said, will you give it a go? And I said yes. And I came out with supposedly all this palaver while I was under hypnosis. I didn't have a clue what I'd said. And then when they investigated it, they found the person that I'd been speaking about.
So
But you must have had a clue what you said. You don't go unconscious in hypnosis.
No, what I mean is, while I was talking about her, I didn't know... You know, when they came round, they were saying, "So did you know this girl?" I said, "No, I don't even know."
But isn't that just the thing that you feel, and particularly when you're being filmed, you feel compelled to tell a story, because to sit there and just go, "Well, I'm not really feeling anything," is boring.
Well, no,
so
not really,
people
because
feel that they should
it wasn't
say
a live
something.
show, so at any point, if I hadn't have thought I was under, I'd have gone, "Listen, it's not working," and I can't sit here and... I mean, it's a 2-hour session. I'm not going to sit there and lie for 2 hours.